Hello, everyone. Some different names and some different technology to talk about now. We're not going to be talking about really high-tech stuff about cooling and oils and non-conducting and fascinating stuff. This is much more esoteric. It's connectivity for the site. It's great having a site with all this compute in it, but you need to have connectivity. I work for Sicom, and we're specialists in dark fibre and fibre optics. And my colleague, Bob Griffiths from NextConnex, is also involved in doing lower bandwidth connectivity for this site. And you'll see exactly how we work in a moment. So first of all, how is Carbon Z resiliently connected? Because the first thing you want in a data center is to know it's resilient, and there are options for diversity. Come on, there we go. Well, actually, when I did the survey for this site, for the connectivity, there are 5 separate routes into the site, which is great, and 3 separate carriers. BT Openreach, Virgin, and Vodafone, and they provide route diversity and carrier choice. But, you know, that's probably not the greatest choice of carriers for getting computation and speed and efficiency. So when we were looking at customers, I was talking to Pete and saying, well, we've got all kinds of customers here who might want hundreds of gigabits of bandwidth. They might want dark fiber. They might want different carriers to come in, carriers that they already work with and have networks with. So what we're doing here and as part of this project is to provide dark fiber connections, both locally within Swindon and nationally. So if you want a dark fiber pair to go to Telehouse or to Slough or to Manchester, we can do that. A wide choice of carriers. So there are all the carriers nearby, and we can bring those in. So if you have a preferred network carrier, Neos or Colt, now Lumen and Colt are 1&1, Zayo, City Fibre or others, we can bring those in because we can connect those using dark fiber to this site. But it's great having all those carriers here, but sometimes you go and say, I'd like a circuit, please, and they say, oh, yes, that'll be 60 working days. Well, that's no good. We live in an environment where you need things much more quickly than that. So NextConnex is an open access network partner for the site, and they can provide a wide range of connectivity with just a 5-day lead time. Right, I used to work with Bob, and we did this in a data center a few years ago, and the fastest time we turned someone on was 3 hours. Right, run the cross connect, tell me what you want, you're connected to the internet, thank you very much. That's what we want to bring here. So there's an overhead shot on Google Earth of the site, and you can see we've got a blue line to the northeast going out under the dual carriageway. That's actually Vodafone, an old cable and wireless duct, and that goes off on a separate network. And then we have 2 links running down the road you drove up to get here, BT and Virgin on both sides of the road. And then, of course, once they get to the end of the road, they go left and right and around the city. We can put extra dark fiber into Openreach ducts. That's something called PIA. We're able to do that. So we can lay a cable that can connect you to other buildings in the area, or can connect you into the centre of Swindon, into the Exchange, into Lumen's point of presence, or anybody else. So, not knowing the audience, what is dark fiber? Somebody said to me once, it sounds like Voldemort or something. It doesn't sound like a good thing, but dark fiber actually is a good thing because it means it's your fiber network. It's dark when we give it to you, and you can light it at any bandwidth you like, and it's not shared with anyone else. There are no congestion issues with anyone else, and it has the lowest total cost of ownership. We've been doing this for many, many years in Sicom and its predecessors. We provided a dark fiber network for a university in Birmingham, and we connected 12 sites and 2 data centers, and they told me their average cost per link was £1,600 a year, and they're running 40 gig on it. Try go and get that from BT. So it's also point-to-point dark fiber, so it's the lowest possible latency. So if you've got any latency issues, dark fiber is the way to go. And it's completely private. It's yours, not shared with anyone else. So from a security point of view, there are no switches, there are no pops where it comes out and goes into electrical that somebody can sniff it or tap it or whatever. We can provide dark fiber connections from here in Carbon Z to any part of Swindon, and also into Slough or Manchester or London. There are routes available, we have prices, we've looked into all of this, so it's all pre-prepared. Anyone wants to tell me you want to do that, just let me know. Obviously, if we're going longer distance, we have to put in regeneration. So every 80 kilometers or so, you have to amplify or regen the signal. Again, we have the options to put all that in. And we can also use the dark fiber, as I said, to connect to your preferred carrier. So you tell me, all right, I really want to use Lumen because we've got a worldwide network with them. We can connect into Lumen in the middle of Swindon. If you want to talk to my friends at Telstra, if you're going to connect to them, we can connect you into London, and you can connect to Telstra. So what if you don't need dark fiber? Okay, it's big bandwidth stuff. It's expensive, but it does cost in for certain solutions. There are 3 carriers on site. Great. So we go to one of them and say, yes, can I have a gig of internet, please, Mr. Virgin or Openreach or Vodafone? You get a price from them, you get a lead time from them. But as I said, quite often, that's not what you're looking for. You haven't got the time to wait for those to be delivered. So Carbon Z have partnered with Bob Griffiths and NextConnex to offer an open access network partnership. That's pre-provisioning of 2 POPs from NextConnex on site with diverse links into the NextConnex network. And that connects to virtually anything you want to connect to. Internet access, but not just internet access. If you need IPv4 addresses, you've still got some. So yeah, we can do that. IPv6, it's an IPv6 network, of course. Connected to multiple tier 1 providers. So you're looking to carry that across to 3 separate nodes. It's what I call the triple resilient core. 3 separate uplink nodes that can carry the entire internet access of the network. And each one of those has different carriers on there. So if a major carrier has an outage, major tier 1 has an outage, you'll still be connected. Direct cloud connection. So you may be putting some compute in here, but you've still got some stuff in the cloud in a hybrid type operation. You're overflowing things between them. You want to connect to AWS or Azure or Google or IBM or one of those. Yep, we can do that. 5 working days again, give us the form, send it through, Bob will connect you. That's all in place and ready to go whenever you need. If you just say, well, okay, I'm not interested in your network, but I'd like to get to Telehouse because I'd like to connect to Telstra or somebody else or China Telecom or 160 carriers there are in Telehouse at the last count I heard. You want to connect to one of those, you can just buy a connection into Telehouse or Slough or Manchester and then cross-connect across to your carrier of choice or service provider of choice. And ancillary services. So everyone thinks network is, yeah, just give me a gig of that, but then suddenly other things crop up. So what about some hosted voice or SIP trunks? Or what about if you don't have any space in Telehouse? Bob will sell you some rack space in one of his racks, 1 or 2 U to put your switch or router into, and so you can use that as a mini hub. All of this is designed to make it really, really easy for you to operate out of this building. Whatever you want can be turned on quickly. Higher bandwidths take longer, but they're still available. We don't want any of you to say, no, we can't do that. We can't connect you to that carrier. We can't do that bandwidth. We can't do that in 5 days. It wants to be yes every time. Again, if you want to work with a partner who does everything, 24/7 support, NOC, I know the guys in NextConnex. I've heard the CTO in NextConnex talking to talking to a client in Texas and telling him his fault was in Texas from the office in Weybridge. How do you do that? Because you've got smart guys, and smart guys really support your business. So, quick overview. All of the stuff I've talked about is bespoke, really. It's very hard to give concrete examples because everyone is different. Everyone in the room will come along and say, could you do this or could you do that? Talk to me afterwards. Speak to the guys at Carbon Z. Find out what you want. Let me know. We can design it for you. We can price it for you. We'll get back to you really, really quickly. But basically, we can do everything from dark fiber, high bandwidth, multiple 100 gigs, through just simple internet access. Maybe you only want 10 meg of internet access for some kind of monitoring circuit. Easy peasy. Run across connect, plug it in, done. High bandwidth, 100 gigabits plus, you can use those to connect to another data center or to another carrier or to move big chunks of data around intermittently. And the open access network model can connect you to any data center in the UK. It's not just the ones on Nexus network. Tell us where you want to go when we connect those, because they're all on networks that we can interconnect with. And the links to the cloud service providers and other content providers. I didn't mention content providers, but Next has a lot of peering with content providers. So if you have a lot of traffic that goes to Netflix or to Microsoft for downloads of software and things like that, that'll be peered. It doesn't have to go via the internet. It's a sophisticated network. And these can be enabled in days and not weeks or months. And that's the key to all of this. It's key to making your lives easier, to make it more flexible, to deliver what your customers need, whether they're internal customers or they're external customers to your company. So that's basically it. Okay, thank you very much.